Greetings, fellow scribes! Welcome back to the archive. This video is part of my series on the individual tribes of Werewolf the Apocalypse. I will be going into each tribe covering the same basic details, their history and mythology, their biases, strengths, weaknesses, and a bit of information about their camps, their sub-organizations within the tribes. Now, this is going to be a bit of a boilerplate for all of these, so I don't have to redo a video every single one. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we talk about this tribe. You could say the Red Talons are the first tribe of Guru, because before the tribes were created, the philosophies of them existed. Before the Guru started mating with humans, forming cultural groups, the Red Talons existed. The great wild wolves of the world. And this is what makes them unique. The Red Talons of all the tribes have no human kinfolk, and thus there are no Red Talons born of human. And they even have very few metis, comparatively speaking. At the same time, they say that they created glyphs. Or should I say, other tribes attribute the creation of the Geru glyph language to the Red Talons. Because the story goes that when the litany was being created, the leader of the Silver Fangs stood in a great council of all the tribes and put forth that each tenet of what would become the litany must be agreed upon by all the tribes present, or else it would not go into the litany. And each tribe was asked their vote, except the Great Wolves. And as each tenet of the litany went down, the wolves just watched. They didn't really understand what was going on, this voting thing. And then, when the litany was voted on, the litany was approved, the alpha of the Silver Fangs, the, at this time, leader of the Guru, put forth that they should all go and disseminate these back to their tribes. And the alpha of the Red Talons, at this point, went up and spoke that we weren't asked. Our vote was never asked for. Why should this thing be held to us? And Silver Fang was, what is your tribe? If your tribe has no name, it's not really a tribe, is it? And therefore would have no vote. The Red Talon Alpha went up to the Silver Fang and clawed across its chest. Said, there is our tribe name for all to see. That is how the Red Talons got their name, and also how Guru glyphs were created. But this story is another important detail. Because the Red Talons asked a simple question. Why should we not eat the flesh of humans? Because they are prey that has just gotten uppity and has made itself a predator. And it is not even really a predator. It is just a fake predator. But humans are still a prey species. And no guru there could answer the Red Talons. And the Red Talons still wait for that answer. And because the Red Talons never voted, they pay lip service to the litany. They pay lip service to the end of the Impergium. But they don't really adhere to them that strictly. They will go and kill humans for no other reason than they were on their lands. They know they can't kill all the humans yet, but they're trying to find ways. And the Red Talons' view of the origins of the world are different as well. They see at one time there was 3 things: water, rock, and wind. The Weaver took rock. The Worm took wind. And the Wild created plants. And then plants started just growing and choking out the Weaver's rocks. And plant seeds and pollen choking out the Worm's air. And thus Gaia created herbivores to eat the plants. And the herbivores started breeding and swarming all over the planet. Again, trampling over the Weaver's rocks, choking out the Worm's air, because the Wild was in them. The Wild with its creation and growth and breeding. And so the Red Talons held that it was then that Gaia created predators. But Gaia was smart. Gaia sought a gift from the Worm and from the Weaver for predators. And the Worm granted predators cunning. And the Weaver granted predators patience. And of course they bore the blessing of the Wild in that they were able to grow, adapt, breed. And so was created a balance in them, that they would eat what they needed, kill what they needed to keep the world the way it was, the way it needed to be. And that was where predators came from. And the Worm didn't like this balance. The Worm wanted to be all that there was. And so the Worm started corrupting things to cause Gaia to follow a threat she had given during this process that if things did not work out, things did not balance, that she would just tear herself apart. And so the only things that there would be the scattered remains of Gaia and air. And yes, that's how the Red Talons see the fall of the Triad. And the Red Talons are rather known as a very not friendly tribe. There have long been descriptions of a Red Talon event that they do in winter in mockery of humans' Christmas trees. What the Red Talons will do is they will kill a human, drape its intestines around a tree from top down, put the human's bones and hang them at various points along the tree, and then put the human's head on the very top. And they see this as perfectly acceptable. And then there is a camp among them called the Dying Cubs. This camp has learned a rite. The rite is called feeding the earth. This rite works like this. The Red Talons take a human and torture the human to death, taking as long as they can. The longer it takes, the more effect the rite has. And they believe, and they truly see the land around where they use this rite to have the taint of the worm removed. The water runs clean. All this stuff. But what they don't know is that any guardian spirits in that area, any Gaian spirits, while they're not corrupted per se, they will not notice beings of the worm coming into the area. They will not take action because they do not notice these beings. So, do they know what's going on? Most likely not. And you pretty much from there have the range of 3 basic tenets in the camps of the Red Talons. You have the Predator Kings, who are absolutely kill all humans, destroy all humans, and eat them. And the other end, you have the Whelps Compromise. Yes, humans are bad. Humans do horrible, horrible things. But they can be redeemed, more or less. We have to educate them somehow. But we can save them. And, those are the 2 basic extremes of the Red Talons. And the Red Talons are just a very hard tribe to wrap your head around at times. I should point out, it's a known fact that there are very few Metis Red Talons. And yes, you can occasionally find them. Of course, because of their deformities, they will never rise to any position of leadership within a Red Talon sept, or even a Red Talon pack. But they exist. What you will not find, however, what you will never find when you find a Metis Red Talon, is that you will never find that Red Talon's parents. And with that, I say, if you like this video, please click like and subscribe down below. I will be back with the next installment in the Tribe series in a bit. And I'll of course be back with my regularly scheduled video. So until then, have fun and keep gaming.